Sorry guys, sometimes I get a little carried away when I get to work from the office. In this remote world, tell me you understand. Yeah, sometimes I like to get down with my bad self. But you know what? That's because I love where I work. Yeah, I tried to start really funny because honestly, this is going to be one of my favorite live episodes to shoot because I get to show you the school. And I know in this time when we can't really get out and be where we want to see things and feel things and experience things on our own, I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to get you into the school and show you a little bit about the location, your school, the school that I hope you will come to. This is a location. It's not just something in the air or something on your computer. This is a place, and it's full of amazing people and amazing experiences, and I want you to be able to experience them all. So that when you get up and you want to come to school, you start dancing too. Because Sizer is just my type. Yep, my kids are going to love this later. All right, so I'm going to take you on a virtual tour of the school. But we got to get all ready. And I'm going to put on my really awesome Hocus Pocus mask for today. Take my badge and keys with me, just in case you're wondering. All staff here have IDs just for safety reasons. And remember, if we're going to get to know you, you're going to get to know us. I also have this sheet of extra facts I want you to be able to share with you. So come on, let's go. So as you guys must know, we are working remotely, so a lot of the building is empty right now. So we get a total tour of the building as unoccupied as it gets. These are our front doors. Welcome to New England, where 18 inches can fall in just one night. When you walk into Sizer School, welcome to the main atrium. This is one of the most amazing atriums I've ever seen. Mostly because when you walk in, Think Care Act is the first thing you see. There's a reason why we do what we do. We want students to be able to feel like they can change this world through thinking, caring, and acting. So, while we're in this amazing atrium, a couple of things. On a regular school day, school starts at 7:55 a.m. with advisory, and we end at 2:45. We have 2 advisory periods every day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Morning advisories are a chance to connect with classmates. Afternoon advisories is the time where students can get extra help, work on projects, connect with their school counselors, watch TV news programs, and so much more. The atrium is also, you can see all these amazing built-ins. These are just some of the areas where our amazing art students create projects that are displayed. So, our art department and our art program is one of the most amazing I've ever seen. We have visiting artists come in and work with our students on the regular. In this whole area is where we would have the revolving museum in Fitchburg take some of our work and show it off to other artists in other areas in Fitchburg and around the community. So you're not just doing art for us, you're doing art that gets to be shared by your community and the outside community. These are the main stairs. We can go up them, not down them like Cinderella, of course. No glass slippers here. But as you are traveling up, once again, in our effort to make sure you always know what is expected of you and what we stand for, Sizer School. It's great. I love words, but I especially love when we really stand for something, and I believe we do. We don't just say we do something, we do it. Let's pop in to our second floor landing. So, our school is divided into 3 floors. The first floor would be our high school students. The second floor would be 9 and 10. And the third floor would be 7 and 8. Now, my first Sizer Live, I actually took you into some 7th and 8th grade classrooms. But as you can see a tour of the hallway, we have some amazing lockers. Yes, we do use our lockers. And all of our classes, whether they're in the 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 12th grade, etc., all pretty much look the same. And in case you were wondering, there they are, our 10 common principles. And you'll see Sizer 6 in these areas too. So the second floor is where we are right now. And let me see if I can find you something really good to look at. There's some school norms down there. Oh, there's some classes going on. People talking. Now, I took you into one of the science lab rooms our first time together, but I wanted to show you that all lab rooms are pretty much the same. You've got all the kind of lab equipment that you would expect. As we use a lot of technology, you're going to see in every classroom that we use projectors with our laptops. All of our science experiments are hands-on, everything from using fake lasers to Bunsen burners, blah, blah, blah. And once again, the Sizer 6 and some more school-wide norms. Now, let's have a quick chat. By the way, I'm old and I'm winded, so bear with me. All right, so 2nd floor, 9th and 10th grader up here. What is also on the 2nd floor is our student services team. And there's a department I really want you to know about. So our student services team and guidance department are both on the 2nd floor. Students have access to student services whenever they need it. Guidance counselors help with personal and social issues, as well as class schedules. They also help with signing up for dual enrollment, filling out college applications, FAFSA forms. They provide info and applications for early college classes, and so much more. Our deans help with carrying out school policies, making sure everyone respects each other and does what they need to do when in school, and they help when things aren't great. So they offer mediation services and meet with students to help them with any social disagreements. They provide space for students to refocus themselves if they are struggling throughout the day. This is important. We all need space, we all need time, and we all need multiple connections to support us through our days. So I talk a lot about your educators, but your student services team, they are on board with you as well. They're going to help with all those other problems that you can't just satisfy in one sitting. And the idea is to work through those problems not penalize problems, but work through them. Also on the second floor was our gym, and I got to show you that in one of our last episodes. The gym is amazing, it's beautiful. I can't tell you enough about it. You've seen it, and you know that our athletic program provides inclusive environment. Everybody's an athlete as far as we're concerned. And if you come to us as an athlete, we're going to continue to support you and your goals of going forward and being an athlete extraordinaire. All right, let's pop up. We're going to go to the third floor next. It's really easy to navigate the building because there's literally a staircase on one end and a staircase on the other end. You go up one side and down the other. You can go around and around and never get lost. Now we're up on the 7th and 8th grade floor. This is the 3rd floor. I've taken you into these classrooms before, but just as a quick pop-in, these classrooms are going to look the same as any other. You're going to see whiteboards with schedules, with work on them. You'll see school-wide norms, etc., etc. Here is another science class. You can see this teacher is making sure that the 7th graders and 8th graders understand what is expected of them. This 8th grade classroom has reminders. And to the question of where do we start if interested in our current 6th grader enrolling, we enroll at grades 7, 8, and 9. And you can go to www.lotteries.com if you are enrolling for the 7th grade for next year. Or if you are enrolling for 6th grade, give us another year and we'll get you. All right. Everything is bright, everything is clean, and everything is inviting. I know I took you into Miss Leonito's room before, but I can't help it. It's one of my favorite classrooms because honestly, there's so many great reminders that learning is a process, that you have to have the right mindset, that you can be the change you want to see in the world. There is a difference between not knowing and not knowing yet. It's one of my favorite because you don't know what you don't know. And honestly, that's what school is for. We get the privilege of teaching you what you don't know and helping you on remembering, learning, and understanding what you do. You can see where I had outlined before how each classroom will have learning goals, language goals, reminders, a place for homework, so that when you walk into every class, you'll know exactly what is being expected. So learning goals might be an essential question. Language goals might be like these math words, the vocabulary that's being used for the day, reminders, maybe about tests, quizzes, advisory projects, something like that. Everything is always up in front of you to remind you. And again, the Sizer 6. I love the Sizer 6. I really do. All right, real quick, so I make sure not to forget about it. I wanted to talk about a little bit about, where is it here? The third floor being 7th and 8th grade. So you hear about the fact that we enroll 7th grade through 12th grade. Well, we don't have seniors necessarily mingling with our 7th graders. That's why we have 3 floors. So 11 and 12 are on the bottom floor, and they more or less stay on the bottom floor. Bottom floor is where the cafeteria is, where the library is, where all their classes are, where the nurse is, all your biggies. Only thing you'd have to travel for is SST, which is on the 2nd floor. 2nd floor is your 9th and 10th grade students. It's also the gym. It's also our principal and executive director's office. But 9th and 10th, more or less stay down there. 7th and 8th, the only thing on this floor that requires any traveling by anyone is the art room. So your 7th and 8th grade stay like their own independent middle school for most of the time. We get together as a community for community meetings and big events, but we stay within our cohorts. We don't try to mix things up. You know, as you can imagine, 7th graders and 12th graders, totally different. And we want to make sure that they have access to each other for things like a mentor, but that they're not integrating all the time. They don't have lunches together or anything like that. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, I love this. I love this. Don't forget to be awesome today. You know what? You guys don't forget to be awesome today, too. I don't know if awesome was starting this by dancing, but I'm trying to be awesome today, too. Shut lights off behind me. All right. I gotta take you into this room because this is funny. So this is Miss Pavlovsky's room, and she is the 8th grade ELA teacher. And you can see some of the things that they were working on. Review seminar norms. Ooh, when you get to the 7th and 8th grade here, you'll do something that I really enjoy, which is, the official name is a Socratic seminar, you know, based on Socrates. The idea being have a discussion. I'd have to talk. Oh, sorry, I get distracted by questions. I'll get to Stacy in just a second. So Socratic seminars are when you get to take a topic or a book or something of that nature and have a full class discussion on it. It teaches public speaking. It teaches community. It teaches the ability to express yourself, to argue correctly. But the reason why I take you into this classroom is, quote the Raven, nevermore. In case you're wondering, yeah, there's a little bit of Poe in 8th grade, but there should be a little Poe in every grade, don't you think? And Stacy, for you, you'll want to speak to our head of special services, which is Sarah Sams. And it's really easy to email because it's sams@sizerschool.org. It's always our last name, first initial, @sizerschool.org. She'll be able to help you with any specific questions about learning needs. Look, it's the Sizer 6 again. I love the Sizer 6. We are now in the 7th grade ELA room. And we talk about language goals. How about a language wall? This is one of my favorite things about coming in here. And usually this whole wall is about, well, yeah, about this time the wall is full. Obviously we didn't get enough time in classrooms to do it. But what's the use in learning a word if you're not constantly using it and making it something that you remember?
So the idea in our 7th grade is we're going to keep giving you words. We're going to work together on those definitions and make sure that you know them. And we do things like our ELA journals. You write in those all the time, and you're always being asked to use some new words. You know what? I like that, because sometimes, let's see here, sometimes I'm being haggard while I solemnly swear I'm trying not to be, while simultaneously looking for privileges because I feel pretty deprived. I also feel pretty deprived of oxygen when I walk up and down these stairs. That's because I'm old. But once again, we talk about making sure students know what's expected. Even in this room, which is also an advisory, these are the circle norms. This is when you sit in a circle and you talk to each other and you connect. You listen to each other. You see where everybody is on the same page. And it's nice. I like it. But, I think I want to take this tour downstairs. Yes, that's right. I want to take this tour downstairs because I want to introduce you to someone that not many people have been able to meet. As we go through this building, I get to show you things. Ooh, we'll pop into the art room as we head back down. Beautiful lit up building. I can't tell you. By the way, you will see that we have notices like this. We have floor demarcations. In fact, the entire school has been redone to accommodate social distancing for when we become in person, whether it's hybrid or completely. The school has already done those things and made sure that we could accommodate with our students. Safety first. And, oh yeah, I was gonna pop into the art room. This is a giant room. Amazing creativity happens. We even have a kiln. Kiln is in that room over there. Well, how about I not put paper in front of you? That door over there holds the kiln room. I wonder if it's locked. Not that you want to stare at a kiln, but... Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's right. There's our secret kiln room. With some projects. Oh, I love doing pottery, but I never got the hang of the glosses that go over it. My color schemes never worked out. It always kind of looked like smudge. And you can see even in this room, which is also an advisory, that what is expected of you is right there. Sit down, get your Chromebooks out, plug in your headphones, work independently with minimal talking, clean desks once you exit. Even in COVID times, we have to make sure that everybody knows what is expected. And you can see that these indicate that when we had classes in the building, we would switch classes by getting an SST individual to come and walk students between classes. That's to make sure that we don't have any problems with social distancing or not wearing masks or, you know, students getting up and bolting. We had it down to a science to make sure everyone was as safe as possible. Now, we do have an elevator for those that need it, that can't do up and down the stairs, obviously. But let's pop down to the second floor so I can introduce you to someone who is new to Sizer, but has been instrumental in really keeping us together and keeping us moving forward throughout all of COVID times. And that is our new executive director. Dr. Michelle Peranto. And as we head to her office, this is the second floor above that main atrium. Check out that. Not so impressive unless you have been here to watch Romeo and Juliet done from this tower, and also a few other things like an egg drop competition like my students did, or learning how to make helicopters and learn wind resistance. It's nice to have a nice main floor like this. Knock, knock, knock. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Everybody, this is our executive director, Dr. Michelle Peranto.
Hi, everyone.
I was just telling them how amazing it's been to have someone at the helm that's really been able to help us move through COVID times and keep us together. But you are a new executive director, so I get the chance to really introduce you to people. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are and your role here.
Okay. My name is Michelle Peranto. I'm the new executive director of Sauvageau School. I started in July, and so I have pretty much only known Sauvageau in a pandemic, and it has been an amazing experience. I actually went through the interview process during the pandemic as well. So I did a lot of virtual meetings, virtual interviews, and got to really know and meet the Sauvageau community that way. Thank God for Zoom. Otherwise, I'm not sure how we would be doing any of this, but it has been an amazing journey so far.
That's terrific. So tell me a little bit, how did you first get into education? What did you do before coming to Sauvageau?
Okay. I first got into education, well, I should start by saying that I have always loved school. So even when I was young, I loved being in school and I loved reading in particular. And I think I've always been attracted to the classroom. But I first started really getting into education when I was a graduate student in San Diego. And I had a professor ask me if I wanted to try teaching. And I was like, okay, it was a good way to sort of pay for school. And I started teaching a first-year writing course at the college, and I fell in love with teaching. I absolutely adored being with students, watching them grow, watching them change, and that was how I started to get into education. Before I came to Sauvageau, I was at Mount Wachusett Community College in Gardner, Massachusetts for 9 years. And I started there as an instructional designer on a grant, and then over the course of 9 years, by the time I left last year, I was the Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs. So that's where I've been.
So what does that mean to have been a designer? What was that purpose?
Yeah. So one of my deepest passions as an educator is creating curriculum. And so really working closely with teachers to design courses that are transformative for students. My dissertation and all of my research has been on how do we create classroom communities that positively impact students and make a significant difference in their lives. And so as a designer, I got to sit down with faculty and literally from day one, design a course step by step that included things like active learning, backward design, all of those pieces, so that when students came to the course, they would have a very rewarding experience that changed their lives.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So then tell me, what attracted you to Sauvageau?
So having been in the area for the 9 years before I came here, I had heard about Sauvageau. You know, there were sort of these conversations about Sauvageau as a school. We would get students from the college to the college from Sauvageau, and we knew who they were because they showed up differently than other students. They wanted to be more engaged. They were more sort of connected to the educational process. And so I've always been curious about Sauvageau. I knew people who were on the board at Sauvageau, and so when this position opened, one of them said, you need to apply for this job. This is your job. And through the interview process, I came to agree with her. It was sort of my progression professionally in terms of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to impact students' lives. And so my attraction to Sauvageau really has to do with the Think, Care, Act, right? The whole mission of the school and how that connects to what I believe is true about education as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, as someone who got to be on that committee to meet you at first, the alignment of what Sizer wanted to do with education and what you were doing with education was kind of like meant in the stars, So it's fantastic that we got to have you here. So tell me, what is your favorite thing so far about, being here, despite the fact that we're in a pandemic?
Yeah, so my favorite thing so far has really been getting to know the educators here. I've been searching probably my entire professional career for a group of educators like the people who are at Sizer. I always put students first, and it is very unusual to meet an entire group of educators who do the same. And so it's been really wonderful to meet the people who work here. And I'm hoping soon to get to spend more time with students. That's the one piece I miss the most. I haven't had a lot of contact with students because we've been remote and hybrid and remote, and so it's been hard to connect with students. But my favorite thing has been the staff and the teachers.
That's awesome. I mean, anybody who watches this knows that everything is my favorite thing. I go from one Sizer thing to the other and talk about how it's my favorite. But honestly, the people who work here are bar none some of the most amazing individuals I've had the privilege in all of my career to be working with because of their dedication and the alignment of all of what we want to do working together as one. How about least favorite?
Yeah, so my least favorite is having become somewhat of a public health expert. So I spent a lot of time looking at health data, which in my entire career has never been something I have done or really wanted to do. Talking about the virus, talking about positivity rates, inoculations, all of those pieces has been my least favorite. It is not a really wonderful thing to do as an educator. It's necessary right now, and I'm sure I'll be stronger as an educator because of it, but it is my least favorite.
I can't blame you on that one. I just can't. So on top of all of this, what do you think makes Sizer stand apart? I mean, we kind of talk about everything being what makes Sizer so special, but what do you think makes it stand apart from other educating opportunities?
I think that the thing that most makes Sizer stand apart is its customization. So if I had a child who was a student this age range, I would bring them here because I would know that they were going to get what they needed as an individual to have the richest educational experience possible. And so far I've seen every sort of customization you can imagine, even more so because of the pandemic. But the educators here really focus on students as people and holistically, and they look at them and say, what is it that this student needs, and then they go about making it happen. I don't hear a lot of well, we can't, well, we've never, well, we don't. All I hear is, okay, this is what this student needs, now how are we going to get it done? And that, to me, is what makes Sizer above and beyond other kind of educational opportunities.
I love that. And as someone who works here, I have to say that we've also gone above and beyond or tried to support our teachers in that respect as well. The amount of support in, okay, yes, there is this issue, how do we fix it? Everybody comes together. And it feels good as a place where you work to know that you have that kind of support. And then some final thoughts. I know we're working through a pandemic, but what is Sizer doing and what is helping and pushing us to keep going forward? What kind of final thoughts do you have about this?
I have this sort of humorous response, and I have the day-to-day real response. The humorous response is we spend some time really thinking about what things could look like when the spring comes and the snow is gone and we can be outside and celebrate what we hope is the end of this pandemic. That sort of end goal is really keeping us going. Day to day, what's keeping us going, I believe, is the support of each other, the way we work together, and just keeping our eye on the goal, right? And so separate from the pandemic, we know what is most important to us, and that is our students. And by just doing the work and helping students get where they need to go and helping them get through the pandemic, it's what keeps us going. Most of us, I would say all of us actually, are called to be here, and that calling is what keeps us going no matter what, even in despite of this pandemic.
That's fantastic. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to be our impromptu, although scheduled guest, because I think it's really important that other people get to meet you too, and our prospective families along with our current families. We have some educators on watching now too, and I know that I've been able to work with you a lot more than some others have, and it's just so amazing to be able to see you in person and hear you in person and know the actual individual is right there with what we're doing.
Yeah, thank you. It was great to see all of you. I hope to see all of you in person in sometime in the near future.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. So that was awesome. I'm so glad we got a chance to speak with Dr. Paranto. She really is amazing. And now we can move ourselves back down to the main lobby and back to my office where all of this beautiful tour began. As long as I don't fall down the stairs. Is there anything going on? Oh, let's quickly pop in. I didn't show you this, but why not? Because we're on our way back. This is a wall of tiles that was created when the school first was built to show all of the students and the unity and the individuals who were being supported by this institution. And I think if you just look at this, you know that maybe one of those tiles could be you and your family and your student coming here to learn how to be your best, to do your best, and to be supported. That's our library. I'd take you in, but it's dark. And down in the Jungle Land, we had a door decorating contest. One of the many, many things we get to do here as a community. And they had an amazing advisory door. So, that was some of the Sizer building. I know it's not ideal to do it from a video, but this is a beautiful place. It's full of beautiful people, and we're doing some amazing things. And I really hope that if you're all interested and you want to know more, that you reach out to myself, info@sizerschool.org, or you can send it right to my name, Lindsay Sauvageau. Although, if you don't know how to spell Sauvageau, go with info@sizerschool.org. I want to help you. I want to give you what information you need. And I want to see your students join us. I've watched so many thrive here, and I hope to see you join our community one day, so that you come in for real and see me dancing, because I really do dance every morning, because it's really awesome to be here, and it's something to dance about. So enjoy your Wednesdays, and thank you for joining me on Sizer Live.